Hi, this is Ron. I'm the 5 Minute Gardener. I do a quick video today just on transplanting some bell pepper plants that I got at the local home center. That's these two different varieties. One's a sweet bell and the other's a large fruited, what do they call them? Giant Marconi bells. So anyway, so what I've done, I've got an area here along the south facing fence. So hopefully we'll be able to capitalize on the reflected heat off this fence, and they should do nicely here. So I've graded it flat. I put down a 6-24-24 fertilizer. It's all little granules you see there. And then I filled this bucket, I don't know what it is, like a 2-gallon bucket full of compost, and spread that across the area. So now I'm going to work it in and then re-level it and plant. So I'll be right back, because I didn't hit the record button, because once in a while I do that. But after I till this over with a spading fork, that's my tool of choice for this, because it doesn't seem to compact the soil as much as a shovel will do. So I used a regular spading fork, a 4-tined flat-tined spading fork, and tilled the soil over really good, broke it up, tilled in the amendments, the compost and the fertilizer, and then graded it flat with a regular flat landscape rake, and used the back of the rake to get it nice and smooth. And then after that I used the back of the rake, holding the rake vertically to tamp down the soil. A lot of people go, well, why would you want to compress the soil after you spend all that time tilling it up? Because I don't want it to settle out. And there's no way using the back of the rake can compact the soil as much as time will from irrigation and walking on it. So I'm just going to stick this in there right at about an appropriate place, so at least you'll know what I did there. And then the next thing you'll see will be me setting up the plants to go ahead and plant those. Okay, so here we are with 4 plants, relatively evenly spaced. I just eyeballed it, and I kept them about a good foot from the fence. So now it's just a matter of digging individual holes and sticking them in the ground. Grab a little hand trowel, and all I'm going to do is dig a hole. Loaded with earthworms this year too. All that rain helped, plus all the organic material I've been putting in the soil for the last 40 years. Okay, just want to make sure it's about deep enough. Don't need to go a whole lot extra deep on these. Now, if these were really root bound, I'd break them all up, but they're not. I'm not going to mess with them. I'm just going to set it in the bottom of the hole, push soil down and around it. And again, I like to pack them in, and I'm going to leave a little depression to catch some water, and I'll put the tag in so I remember what the heck I planted later. And I'm going to do that for the other 3. Now, the reason the tags are huge, years ago I worked for a nursery, and people would always come in and they would go, last year I planted this tomato, and oh my God, it was delicious, and it was about this big, and it was red, and do you know what it is? It's like 1 of 4 million. So keep records, keep a journal, varieties, dates that you planted, any other notes you might want to take about what you used to amend it, amend the soil for it, like that. Okay, we'll be back. So there we are, all the plants in the ground. I'll water them, and I'll give you an update in a few weeks, see how they're doing, and hopefully they'll do really well. Now, those little plastic pots too, a lot of people head those straight to the trash. I like to save and reuse these. A lot of times you get multiple plants in a pot, like this one bell pepper here. There were 2 seedlings, and any other time I'd probably try and divide them all, so I'd have an extra pot to put one back in, and I make sure I put them in pots for a while to let them get past the transplant shock. And that's why I save all these pots. I'll save 6-packs too for smaller seedlings, or to grow seeds in. Actually, that works really well too. And when I take cuttings, I like to use pots like this for cuttings as well. And I'm going to take some cuttings off these tomato plants in the next few days, and I'll do a video on how that works. Both of these tomato plants are volunteers. That means they just started on their own in the garden, and we put them out here against the fence, better location. The one on the left here really just exploded. and it's full of fruit, and I believe, and we're not sure what it's going to be, but it's an indeterminate variety, which means it's a vine type, and it's loading up with fruit. It had fruit on it when we moved it, and it was actually growing in our lettuce box. It's kind of hanging over the side. It's about 1.5 feet long, and it wasn't going to make it for very long. Stuck it in the ground here a few weeks back, and off it went. And this other one, again, not a clue what variety it is. It just started right behind me in some shade, so that's kind of why it's so leggy. And so it's been here now about a week, and I had it covered with fence boards, just leaning up against this fence to protect it, shade it, so to get through the transplant shock. And it's doing just fine now. It's got new flowers on it. It's loaded with flowers up here, and shouldn't be long before it starts fruiting up as well. But we'll talk about that next time, about how to take cuttings off of tomato plants and how to keep the plant around longer by doing that. All right, this is Ron, the 5-Minute Gardener. Make sure you hit subscribe on this, and hit that like button down there at the bottom of the video somewhere. Thanks. Talk to you later.